Hey, good morning, everybody. Almost good afternoon. Mary Marshall here, Melissa Nord in the WC9 Weather Center. Melissa is getting ready for the noon show. We're going to let her get ready for that, and I'm going to help guide you guys through the next few hours of what's going to be some active weather working its way in. Already the streets are wet out there because we've had some rain, and now some lighter rain has pushed back into the area. But we also have some rounds of heavier rain that are going to push in, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about, and I want to talk to you about the impacts from that. So let us get this going here. I'm going to get you over to my weather computer. And we'll take a look at that. Let's see. CG, where's camera 51? Oh, no, CG20. No, weather 1. There we go. All right, here we go. So here's what we're seeing on radar right now. Sometimes you just got to know which button to press, right? Isn't that the key to solving life? Okay. So as you can see right now to the south of us, all along this line, I mean, weather is just active. There are, well to our south, tornado watches, warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. All of this is moving over to the east. Now, this is what we're going to get out of this. Rain is going to be our major impact along with a flooding threat. So this is radar right now. You can see some light showers across the area right around Charlottesville. That's where we can spot some of the moderate to heavier rain that is associated with this system as it moves its way to the east. Let me just highlight that for you guys. So that's what we're seeing, and we're seeing that push a bit further east. I'm going to do some quick tracking on that just to kind of see where it's going to be within the next few moments or so. But that is what we're looking at pushing in a little further over east. So that's still a bit south of us, but if that holds, maybe in the next hour and a half, you could see some of that moderate to heavy rain pushing its way toward the Culpeper area in the next hour and a half or so. But this is what we're looking at. Now, this is going to be a closer in shot of DC right now. The rain is probably light, and it may not be that disruptive to your day. But once you start getting in those rounds of the moderate to heavier rain, that's when things can become a bit disruptive. Here's a quick rundown of what's going to be happening. So we're looking at rain. It will be heavy at times. We think the hours between noon and 8 p.m. will likely be when we would see those pockets of heavier rain work their way in. Look for light to moderate rain after 8 o'clock, but that rain is going to continue, okay? And that's part of what adds to that flooding threat, with you constantly still getting in some rain. But the rain should start to end on early Friday, and then it will turn breezy around here. So I'm going to walk you through FutureCast and tell you what's going to be happening and how it can impact you. This is 12:30 today. We have some more pockets of moderate rain potentially working their way in. We move the clock back to, let's go not that far, let's go to about 3:30 or so. You see those orange and yellow colors? That's an indication of the more moderate to heavier pockets that'll be working their way in. I can tell you the atmosphere is juiced. We got a lot of moisture to work with. So with that in mind, and also with the lift and the instability that we have, we could see some heavier rain. We could really get those rainfall rates to get up here. Advancing it to about your evening commute, 5 o'clock, we still have some rain out there, and that can make for a very slow commute, okay? The grounds have already been wet for quite some time, so then you add in the fact that we still have some pockets of moderate to heavy rain falling, and that could certainly slow things down. I'm hoping that it won't lead to a lot of accidents, but you know, with those types of conditions, it just makes things all the more slick for you. That's 5 p.m. We're going to move it back to about 6:30 or so, and we still have some rain, and most of it is south and east. If you are north of D.C. along Martinsburg, Frederick, you will still get some rain, but likely that heavier rain will be to your south. And then, of course, as you head into southern Maryland, you're still going to be picking up on the rain, and you would be in the section that is favored to get some of the moderate to heavier rain. Let's take you through your Thursday evening and Thursday night. This is at 9 o'clock. We still have some moderate rain falling.
Cam 11. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
And
I'm sorry.
are we still good?
Okay. Tell him we have the wrong image up and we're getting it fixed.
Oh, can they not see my computer?
I told him Cam 19. See, it's at Cam 11.
Oh, can people still hear us, or?
They can still hear you.
Okay.
So let them know that we'll have the graphics up in a minute.
Okay. Well, guys,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. Guys, you may not be able to see some of these graphics. I can go back over them with you in just a second. We're just getting a little bit of a technical issue fixed for you guys, but we've got you all set. All right, so I'll walk back over this. You can listen in until we get the graphics going, and I'll go back over with the graphics. So later on tonight, you're still looking at some rain, and then Friday morning, We advance to about 5 a.m. Showers are a bit broken up a little bit in some spots, but 6:30 a.m. some lighter showers begin to work their way back in. So expect at least some light showers on Friday morning. Then even over the mountains, we could pick up on some snow there. You can see to the west of us around Oakland, we could see some 10 a.m. DC, you're starting to dry out, still some snow over the mountains, and then along the eastern shores where we have the tail end of the rain. And then by Friday afternoon, we see temperatures in the 40s, fall to the 40s rather, by the afternoon, starting at the 50s and then fall into the 40s. And then winds become breezy for us. So we'll start to see those winds really pick up as well. Now, one thing Melissa brought up that I thought was a really good point that I wanted to share was that you have a saturated ground and then you have those wind gusts going. Some unstable trees, maybe even some older ones, could topple over. So I would watch out for that as being a hazard on tomorrow once the rain is gone and the winds have picked up and the ground is still a bit wet and saturated. Now we do have a flood watch. It starts at 1 o'clock. And it's mainly, it's going to go until, or 2 o'clock actually. They change it? No, that's flood watch. That's the wrong one.
Just flood.
Flood, yeah, flood watch. Hold up. That says flood watch. That's the graphic I thought we had. All right, I'll get you that one in a second. It's okay, you can't see it anyway. But there is a flood watch from 1 until 7. 1 today until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. That will cover us for the potential for some flooding out there. One thing I want to mention about the flooding, this is an ancient Mary Marshall saying, your car is not a boat, it's not meant to float, okay? You see water covering the roads, you can't tell just how deep that water is, and will cover us for the potential for some flooding out there. One thing I want to mention about the flooding, this is an ancient Mary Marshall saying, your car is not a boat, it's not meant to float. Okay, you see water covering the roads, you can't tell just how deep that water is. And this is going to be one of the major impacts that we'll see out of this system, the potential for some flooding to occur. So let me get you back over to radar. And if you're just joining us, Mary Marshall here, just giving you guys an update on what's going to be happening the next few hours as we continue to get in those rounds of moderate to heavier rain. So as you can already see, it's active out there on radar well to our south. We've got some light rain, but heading from the south of us, we have some really active weather. As you start to head into the Carolinas, that's where they're running into lots of tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. For us, we are looking at a lot of rain out of this particular system. That is what we are looking at. So if you guys are able to see something right now, let me know. I'd be happy to walk you through the next few rounds of what's going to be happening. Will there be any snowstorms this winter, Jordy? Well, winter's not over yet. We can pick up on another one that'll give us some snow. But right now, I'm not seeing that within the next 7 days. Maybe on Sunday morning in a few spots, maybe north, there could be a flurry. It's not looking promising at all. So, Eric, yes, a yellow weather alert. I'm going to hop to some of your comments. Okay, I can see a picture now. Good. You guys can see. All right. So if you're just joining us, let's get it on. Manda, Sue, you may be able to see right now. Diane Kirk, hey, how are you? Snow, rain, Mary Jean. It's going to be rain. All right. So you guys can see. I'm going to continue to proceed with this presentation here. All right, so there's the radar. Lighter rain over DC, heavier pockets of rain. You can see them mixing in around the Charlottesville area. That's what we've got right now. So in the next half an hour, all the way up to about 8 o'clock this evening, you're going to notice pockets and waves of moderate to heavy rain. It is light over DC now, but we think that it's going to get a bit heavier. This is a quick rundown of what's going to be happening. Rain heavy at times between noon and 8 p.m., light to moderate rain after 8 p.m., and that'll last us all the way until early tomorrow. So even tomorrow morning, we'll still have some lighter showers lingering. Then Friday, the big story is going to be the wind. The rain's going to push out, and those winds are going to kick up, and that could cause some issues of their own. All right, so here's today at 1 o'clock. We can see some rain out there. You're noticing the yellow and the orange colors. You're like, what is that? that is an indication of some pockets of moderate to heavy rain that could mix in a few spots. So that's Thursday at 1 o'clock. And we advance it to your evening commute. This is at about 4 o'clock or so. You're trying to head home, you're heading to the metro, heading to your car. Maybe you got kids to pick up. Maybe you got a practice to go to. At that point, it could be a very slow commute because of the rain that will be coming down, and it could be a bit heavy at times. We've got a juiced atmosphere that is just waiting to rain, especially with the lift that we'll have. So with that in mind, we've got the ingredients to get some heavier rain going around here, especially DC and Point South. That's at 4 o'clock. A 5 o'clock snapshot shows that we will still have some rain around the area, still some pockets of moderate to heavier rain to work in. And then later on in the evening, this is 7 p.m., you start to notice the tail end of that rain around, not tail end, but the bulk of the heavier rain has shifted just a little even further south. Around southern Maryland is where you could certainly still pick up on those pockets of that. And then it's going to continue to be a wet Thursday night. We'll still get waves of rain in. Most of it will be a bit on the lighter to moderate side versus those more pockets of heavy rain, but it's still going to be something to contend with later on tonight. You wake up early Friday morning. It's about, I'd say, 5 a.m. or so. 6 a.m. and there'll be some lighter showers still lingering around. So Friday's morning's commute, while not quite as wet, could still be wet. 7 a.m. some lighter showers, 8 a.m. light showers, and then you get to Friday afternoon after 1 o'clock, we see those showers pushing out. You want snow, you got to go over to western Maryland to the mountains. That's when we could still pick up on some light snow there, pick up on some snow there. And then the wind is going to be the bigger story. So just to recap, we're looking at some rain out there, moderate to heavy rain that could produce some impacts such as slowing down your commute. There could be some flooding. We have a flood watch that is in effect starting at 1 o'clock and going all the way until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So that's going to be one of the key factors that we see in terms of impacts out of this, and we'll look at some more impacts as well. But I just want to show you those areas that are included in that flood watch, and it's going to be areas basically DC and Point South, and as you head up toward the Baltimore area as well. So you can see southern Baltimore County included, southern Montgomery County, all of Anne Arundel County, Culpeper, Manassas, Fredericksburg, Waldorf into southern Maryland, Salisbury, Cambridge, all those areas included in the flood watch from 1 p.m. until 7 a.m. on Friday morning. So 1 o'clock this afternoon to tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain will be possible. So if you do happen to see water on the road, do not attempt to cross it because you just don't know how deep it is. Literally, you don't. All right, the next 12 hours, this is what it's going to look like. With winds gradually bringing in warmer air from the south, you're going to see those temperatures just bumping into the lower to mid 50s. But what you do notice that's consistent are those raindrops, right? We continue to see them over the next 12 hours. So again, focusing on some impacts, it's going to be for a slow commute, a wet commute. There's a risk for some flooding. You could see water spilling out of streams and nearby creeks if you live by those areas. Just be mindful of that and be ready to get to some higher ground should you begin to see that water starting to rise. Rain, of course, obviously that risk is high. We've already got that going on, and those pockets of heavier rain, obviously an issue for us as well. A quick note about tomorrow. Let's just talk about the winds picking up just a bit. This is the NAM model. It might be overdoing it a smidge, but not completely out of the question. You'd be looking at wind gusts of 30, 35 miles per hour and stronger. Some areas could see those winds gusting past 40 miles per hour. So here's your Friday morning. You start to see those winds picking up, and really by mid to late morning, 11 o'clock in the morning or so, those winds are going to get stronger. So with that in mind, we do have to watch out for the potential, as Melissa noted. I just wanted to share with you guys some of her thoughts because she's a bit busy right now. But with the saturated ground, having gotten all that rain, you know, a few weak trees we could see maybe toppling over. So you just got to watch when you have a heavy rain event followed by wind. Those two coming right behind each other could cause some hazards of their own. So just to recap, we're looking at some moderate to heavier rain mixing in at times between now and about 8 o'clock. The major impacts that you will notice from that will be wet roads, potentially a very slow commute. You could have some travel hazards in terms of flooding on the roads. Water could start spreading onto roads. It could start to spill over from creeks and streams. So those are some of the major issues that you would have to, that you may encounter rather when it comes to this. All right, Spotsylvania County is included within that flood watch. Sure, Terry, you had a question. Frederick, Maryland, not included in the flood watch, but you're still going to be getting some rain. Cindy, you're already getting drenched, you say, in Spotsylvania. Yeah, I believe it. Hey, let's go around the region here on the radar and take a look and see what's going on here. So I'll just go around. So right now, if you're in D.C., you've got some lighter rain falling. Let me just check something on my radar setting. Hang on a sec. There we go. Just want to make sure. Oh, here we go. Okay, there we go. Now we can see more of those pockets of the moderate rain moving their way into the area. So around Warrenton, Haymarket, Front Royal. Let's zoom into some street levels, guys, while we're here. Talk about what's happening. All right, so if you're along 66 heading past Marshall, off of Broad Run, Haymarket, you're running into some pockets of moderate to heavy rain there. This would be around County Creek Lane. And then let's go down to Spotsylvania, since we had some of our viewers watching out from those areas. Let's go down a little bit. Here's Stafford, Fredericksburg, Spotsylvania right there. Yeah, I can see some moderate to heavy rain just around that area. Just east of 95 is where we're picking up on those pockets of heavier rain. Culpeper right now. Let me see if we can look at some rainfall rates here real quick. Around Culpeper, right, 3/10 of an inch rather within an hour. So you could easily pick up on some rain there in an hour. And then just imagine, this is just like essentially the beginning of the moderate to heavy rain mixing in occasionally. So this is what I'm talking about. It's lighter now, you can see in a few spots, but then that heavy rain, those yellow and orange radar returns, that's an indication of the more moderate rain that could work its way in. I'm going to go for a few more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to wrap up because we do have a noon show that we need to get ready for. I need to give Melissa some peace and quiet so that she can get ready for her show. Although she's pretty good about tuning you out if she's busy and working, but we still want to give her that peace and quiet. All right, there's Ladysmith, some moderate to heavy rain falling right there. Let me do a little bit of tracking. So if you are in an area where the showers are a bit lighter, you want to know, hey, when can I expect this to pick up in the near future? Let me just do a little bit of that for you guys, all right? So I got Old Plank Road, Chancellor. This is, what's that, Hartwood. Let me just see when this might be making its way over to Fredericksburg. I'm just going to do a quick and dirty little look here. All right, so maybe in the next half an hour or so, Fredericksburg, you can see that rain picking up in intensity a bit. Same thing in Bellevue at about maybe 12, 16 or so. Let's do some other spots real quick. Oh, Margaret, sorry about that. Jeff McGuire, yeah, you can definitely still see some pockets of the moderate to heavy rains working their way in, especially between now and the early afternoon. So here is where that biggest chunk of the moderate rain is. I just want to give people who haven't seen it yet, and then as we go over, this is just outside of Elkins. This is going to be pushing toward Elkins pretty soon as well. So guys, look out for that. This is right off 79. And here's going to be that first batch that's going to be coming in right around the lunch hour. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of tracking. I just want to know when this line right here, when this will be over here. So I'm just do a quick little tracking, okay, guys? And then we got to give the floor, let Melissa finish getting ready for her show. All right, so this is just south of Leesburg. I'm just going to zoom in right here. There's Fairfax, so it's already over Chantilly. And then you can see also around Alexandria, the rain has picked up a little bit there between Alexandria and Upper Marlboro. It's going to be near the National Harbor.
Look at this latest FUTURECAST.
Oh yeah, that shows, that's 4:30. It's a nice swath of heavy rain.
It's almost like squally.
Yeah, it does look like it, huh? This is just south of National Harbor, and then as we head over toward Upper Marlboro, I see it as well. Melissa's looking at some FUTURECAST information right now. Tyson's, some moderate rain is picked up around there, as well as Chantilly. Even around Dulles, I can see some moderate to heavier pockets falling. Let's go up to 70 and see what's up. Germantown, light to moderate rain there, just south of Gaithersburg. A little patch of 270 as you head toward Rockville around, looks like DeCoverly Road, Oak Knoll, Tier, those areas. You're looking at some moderate to heavy rain picking up there. Just do some tracking. Oh, you want to know how much snow, if this were snow, if this were snow we're talking about with this amount of liquid, how much would we get? I'm going to do a quick and dirty 10 to 1 ratio. If it's 1 to 3 inches, be what? 10 to 30 inches of snow. That's just a quick and dirty. Off the top of my head with no calculator at all. All right, I just want to track this real quick. Just to give, if you are in DC and you're thinking about stepping out to get a sandwich or something, Melissa and I ordered in. We didn't have time for that. Maybe 12:30 around DC. Maybe American Legion Bridge by around 12:30 or so. Tyson's maybe the next about 12:20 or so. Chantilly, it's already kind of on top of you. Saying 11:58, I'm like, yeah, it's already there. Go to a few more spots. All right, guys. Well, we're just about 10 minutes outside from the noon show, so we're going to let Melissa go ahead and get ready to do her show. We want to just let her have a little bit of time to concentrate, but we do have a lot of information on our website as well. But the bottom line, just to wrap up here, for those of you who are joining us, you're looking at pockets of moderate to heavy rain working their way in between now and 8 o'clock. There is a flood watch that's going to be starting at about 1 o'clock. It's going to cover areas D.C. and in most areas south and east of D.C. So I'll pop that on for you as well. That's going to be the major impact out of this. You may have a slower commute. You may have water on roads, water ponding on roads. There may be some deep puddles to get through. And also you could have flooding from streets nearby, creeks and streams. You may have that as well. Here's a quick look, though, at the areas included within that flood watch. Anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain is possible. So do take this seriously. And again, last ancient Mary Marshall saying, your car is not a boat. It's not meant to float. Please do not drive over this flooded water, because you can't estimate how deep that water is. Water is very powerful at making things weaker and weighing down on them. So the ground could have caved in because of the water, and it could be much, much deeper. All right, even if you're a good swimmer, that's not the situation for you. All right, guys, so just wrapping it up here. Always love keeping you all informed. Take care. Please be safe. Have a wonderful day.